Press. I am your host, Drew Duncan. Do not forget that Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is all at Drew Duncan83. Additionally, you can find me on YouTube. Simply look for Drew Duncan. And don't forget the Full Court Press is on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. 32 teams, 32 days in the NFL, and we begin quite simply with the Arizona Cardinals. Just a brief overview of the Cardinals last season, what we're looking to this season, some off-season moves, where the team is. And as I try to do with every team, regardless of whether or not there's any kind of upshot, we're going to give some to the Arizona Cardinals. First of all, I want to be very clear. Okay, I was not the biggest fan of Josh Rosen coming out of the collegiate ranks, period. Here's my deal, though. Even with that, I'm not the type of guy to necessarily lay the faults or successes on one team. I've always said that, yes, it is a team game. Do I believe a great player, especially quarterback, though, can make or break a football team? Unequivocally, I do believe that. But in the case of Josh Rosen, I feel that it was a little bit of everything. Look, the Arizona Cardinals are a football team that from top to bottom needed absolutely revamped. We're talking about one of the worst defenses in all the NFL last year. We're talking about a team that offensively could not get anything going. Yes, Josh Rosen had his hand in that, but he was also sacked 45 times last season. Now, look, you can allude to whatever you want to with that, and I'm going to let you go in the direction that you want to with that. You can blame play calling. You can say you held the ball too long, covered sacks. You could say receivers aren't getting open. You could say that the run game isn't there with David Johnson. You could say the offensive line is horrendous, etc. Whichever direction you want to go, I don't think I would necessarily contest you on that. But when we look at the ins and outs, and we look at the Arizona Cardinals obviously making, I don't necessarily want to say an explosion, but they did take Kyler Murray in the NFL draft. It was obvious from the beginning that they were getting ready to go somewhere else. I knew that immediately they were going to trade him after that, and that was all there was going to be to it. And I know that a lot of people are hammering his size, and let's just get that out of the way. Josh Rosen is 6'4". I mean, at the end of the day, what the hell does that have to do with anything anyways? You know, Doug Flutie got that rap. How has it affected Russell Wilson, though? What is he, 5'10", 5'11"? Somebody's big, tall, and strong. That doesn't mean anything. If you don't believe me, then talk to anybody who doesn't like Tim Tebow. Big, tall, and strong doesn't make you a prolific quarterback in the NFL. And, of course, the antithesis of that would be being a little undersized doesn't mean anything either. It's about playing with heart. Now, look, am I the biggest fan of Kyler Murray coming out of OU? I will be perfectly frank with you. I'm 50-50 on him. I wasn't necessarily big on Baker Mayfield. So far, that's panned out for the Cleveland Browns. A lot of hype on them. It has yet to be seen in the long run is the point. And I don't think that we should necessarily give anybody just one season in the NFL. I've always said that it takes about 4 to 5 years to learn how to truly be a great quarterback in that league, period. So in the case of Kyler Murray, even a Josh Rosen, am I willing to say, well, just 1 year and let's see what happens? No. No, it's going to take a while. And if anybody thinks that Kyler Murray is going to be the quick fix of this team, you are sadly mistaken. You know, I made mention of earlier that he was sacked 45 times was Josh Rosen. You know, that's 10%. It's 10% of every time that man dropped back to pass, he was going to go down. That's literally 10 times out of every 100 pass attempts. That's an astounding statistic to think about. And I'm not even really a stats guy. I think they need to kind of incorporate David Johnson. But here's the problem, though. Is David Johnson going to fit in the type of scheme that they're going to need to use with a Kyler Murray? Look, I think David Johnson's a hell of a running back. A couple of years ago, 1,300 yards. He's a little bit of a hit-and-miss guy. But if you need somebody who can grind it out for you, it's David Johnson. I said top to bottom, this team's going to need fixed defensively. As I made mention of earlier, they were not a solid football team, and now it appears that they're going to be without Patrick Peterson for at least 6 to 8 weeks, potentially, or 4 to 6 weeks, whatever that suspension was. You got guys not even bothering to show up. Supposedly, what was it, Robert, right? Robert Kondichi showing up out of shape. He's not even officially working with the team right now. He's got to get down to playing weight, basically. And, of course, to top it all off, you've got Kliff Kingsbury, a rookie NFL head coach who was at Texas Tech, who, by the way, even having Baker Mayfield, even having Patrick Mahomes, never won more than 8 games while he was there. 46% of all of his games is what they won at Texas Tech. And I know to a lot of people they're going to say, well, he's coming out of the Big 12. Well, here's the thing, though. The Big 12 doesn't play a whole hell of a lot of defense. And while the NFL is starting to kind of follow that moniker, there is still some defense in the NFL. Defense that they're going to have to play twice a year with the LA Rams and Seattle Seahawks. Not to mention they're going to be at New Orleans as well. They've got the Atlanta Falcons on the schedule. This is not going to get any easier for the Arizona Cardinals. By the way, they're also going to be at Baltimore facing the Ravens. Is there any upshot for Arizona whatsoever? With a defense that gave up over 2,200, 2,300 yards on the ground on defense last season? They gave up a total of over 5,000 yards of offense last season. Well, there is. The upshot is simply this. Kyler Murray and your coach, Kliff Kingsbury. You know why? Because Kliff saw Kyler Murray up close and personal, knows exactly the style of offense that he needs to run with him, has a complete understanding of exactly what Kyler Murray's already capable of. He could be one of these new hot shot coaches that comes in and gets the job done. That has yet to be seen, but who knows? Obviously, McVay still kind of leading that. Mike Tomlin came in kind of as a young coach, kind of leading that. Mike Shanahan revered as kind of a hot young coach. I mean, it's worked a couple of times. For the long haul, does it always work? Absolutely not. But in this case, who knows? And to be honest with you, the Arizona Cardinals don't have a whole hell of a lot to lose. I mean, every year it's expected that Larry Fitzgerald is going to be a hell of a wide receiver. And the bottom line here is when it's all said and done, if you play relaxed football, know exactly who you are as a team and play into that to the best of your ability, open up this offense a little bit. I would say maybe run some, a spread look. Give it to Johnson up the middle a bunch of times. Let him grind it out. Run some rollout plays with Kyler Murray if anybody's concerned about what they can do with him at all. It's what they did at OU. A lot of rollout plays. Just get him out there in the open where he's not having to look over an offensive lineman. And as bad as that offensive line is anyway, I don't think I want Kyler Murray doing any step backs. 3-step drop and try and let it go. No, absolutely not. I am hoping this man is back there absolutely getting away from that offensive line because they need fixed bad. Nobody's going to see it coming. They're not expecting you to come out and go to the playoffs. So if you just play loose, relaxed football, play within yourself, don't get outside of it entirely too much, grind it out with Johnson, combined with some great open, maybe hurry-up style of offense, just kind of slow down a little bit, no huddle, slow down, a little like Peyton Manning with Denver. I think that they could be successful. You do some long drives, a lot of short pass plays, a lot of screens, a lot of dink and dunking, some grinded out run, and keep your defense off the field. Wear the other team's defense down. They can win some football games that way. I think if they try to go hurry up and really pace it hard and go after you and spread them open a little too much and don't have any balance in the run game, then we're going to see more of the same from last year. Bottom line is, regardless of how well they play, I don't think Arizona wins more than 6 or 7 games this year. Guys, I am Drew Duncan, host of the Full Court Press. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is all at Drew Duncan83. YouTube is Drew Duncan. The Full Court Press is on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. And as always, don't you dare touch that dial.